Good evening, and thank you for joining me for this Thursday edition of Reporter's Notebook. My name is Kelsey O'Donnell here inside the digital studio, joined by my fellow digital reporter, Victoria Holmes. Victoria, thank you for joining me this evening, and I'm really excited to talk about your story and share with viewers. You did a story today on the New Bern African American Heritage Trail. What was that like today, and what was the significance here in Eastern North Carolina?
Well, first of all, it was raining today, but I was able to get out there right before the rain really poured, like literally right before it started pouring down. The African American Heritage Trail is a trail that's underway in New Bern. There's 16 signs dedicated to the stories of African Americans that have been in the area and helped build up what New Bern is to what it is today. It's kind of started in partnership with the New Bern Historical Society, but really what happened is a few years ago, this is a project that's been years in the making. A few years ago, there were 7 buildings in the Craven Terrace development area, 7 historic buildings that were torn down. And part of the agreement with the developer who tore down those buildings was to allocate funds to create projects to help mitigate the loss of those historic buildings, of those historic sites. And this is just one of the projects that is currently underway. It's called the African American Heritage Trail in New Bern, that tells the stories of famous African Americans that really developed New Bern and the history behind New Bern from the perspective of African Americans who've been there since the beginning. So it will be completed June 19th. There will be a dedication ceremony at 10 a.m. at 5 Points, and we have all that information at WNCT.com.
Awesome. So obviously you got out there before the rain started pouring down. What was it like talking to people out there? Did you get to witness them putting up the signs, or were people actually going through the trail and reading from them?
So I didn't get to witness them putting up the signs because a lot of them were already pretty much up. But I talked to the chair of the person who is a part of the committee putting up these signs. His name is Bernard George, and he's part of the New Bern Historical Society, and he's from New Bern. And he said that there's been New Bern is one of the most historic places in our country. First of all, there's no doubt about that. But he said growing up, there's been a big part of that history not available to the general public.
Sure.
Because through the years there's been Jim Crow segregation. There's been a lot of suppression of Black voices in the early 1900s and even before that. And so these stories haven't been told. And now 2021, I asked him, I was like, is this overdue? And he was like, yeah, this is absolutely. He was like, absolutely, this is overdue, but this is a start. And so now we're starting to really understand the full, complete picture of New Bern, and some of the communities out there, like Duffy Field, that have a historic Black community and background in that area.
Awesome. And I think New Bern absolutely is a big focal point in Eastern North Carolina for a lot of history, unspoken history. And I think this is a really awesome thing that they are putting together. Now, is this throughout New Bern, or is it just on one specific trail?
So they call it a trail, and this is like the other trail, the Civil War History Trail. I mean, these trails, they're signs located throughout the city that details the historic significance of the spot, or details the historic significance of someone who lived in the area. I mean, don't think of it like the Greenway Trail, or don't think of it as a trail that you can walk in. It's a trail with signs and outposts located throughout the city. We have when it comes to the actual trail and the locations have not yet been online on the New Bern Historical Society, like of where they're going to be. They're going to be there soon. I linked the New Bern Historical Society to the article, to the webpage. And then along the actual like signs or outposts, there's like maps. Or there is a map with like where the nearest sign location is. So it's not like a trail, like you just go straight down, a street. No, it's different signs and outposts in the area, just like the Civil War Trail that's out there. There will be a map with all the spots on the New Bern Historical website. Again, the New Bern Historical website is on WNCT.com, attached to the article that I wrote up for today. So, and it'll all be there by June 19th. So if you want to check it out for Juneteenth, go to that celebration, then it's there. And I highly recommend, just uncovering a part of New Bern's history that really hasn't been told before, which is kind of cool.
Yes, I totally agree. All right, guys, you heard her. June 19th is the official date. You can go out and read all about all the history and learn some more. As always, you can find more information on WNCT.com under our online originals page as well. All right, Victoria, thank you.
I thought we were signing off, Kelsey. You know,
We are signing off now. It's
All right.
Thursday. We are ready to head out for the day. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. Thanks so much again for tuning in. Now we're signing off.